Brigadier, is here you have a team of specifically selected people. You don't have multiple teams.
Yes.
That just happen to be on the scene, and they are not necessarily friends or in any way associated with each other than that they all fall under the umbrella of the SEPs. This is completely different. You've got people who were specifically selected. Two of them say they were selected by the crime intelligence officer who gave them information, and then Colonel Jacob selected Sibia. So you've got three people who are involved in this operation. So your reasoning that it's unlikely, that anyone would do anything inappropriate when there are multiple players doesn't apply in this case.
I concede, Commissioner.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
But I wasn't aware that the other stakeholders were not involved.
Yes. Can I just raise something about that you say in your statement, and it's about this discussion with the evidence leader about the chain of evidence being compromised. In your statement, you say, I accept now. So remember, you start off by saying you were satisfied that the chain of custody was preserved because Mpangase was going to remain with the exhibits throughout. And in the next sentence, you say, I accept now that once they left the crime scene without exhibits being placed in exhibit bags, the evidence was already compromised. Surely, as an experienced officer, you would have realized this back then, not now, not later. You would have realized once you became aware. So you do accept that even then, after the 22nd, you would have realized and acknowledged that the chain of evidence now, after the 22nd of June, is compromised.
Advocate Ngube, just to help us with space, because can we please deal with paragraph 44 and 45 and 46 of Prinslow's statement so that we can put the file away? Because I know you were in 44, but we may need to come back to these two paragraphs.
Do you want to deal with them, Commissioner?
Maybe
Yes.
he can just comment on the allegations made there.
Okay. Brigadier, you still have Colonel Prinslow's statement open on page 14? Yes. At paragraph 44, which is what I had read, he also said he instructed me to make storage available at our offices. He said he would take both sets of the safe keys with him once the exhibits were stored in the safe. He said the exhibits could not be stored at the Mamzantoti Forensic Science Laboratory as it did not have a secure storage capacity. I knew that the laboratory had been flooded and was dysfunctional. And then do you recall that that is the conversation you had with him? Can you switch on your microphones, please?
I apologize.
And keep them on, yes.
It was about the space, that they did not have the space. I think he just added something that I did not say there.
The secure part, secure
Yes.
storage capacity, you say you didn't have.
How would I know about the security of the FSL? I'm not from there.
Okay. And then at 45, during the call, Brigadier Nyuswa did not discuss any other alternatives. He made no mention of any other storage. I know there were Durban Police Station, Maiden Wharf, or Isipingo police stations which operated 24 hours. These would have been more secure. Brigadier Nyuswa never mentioned anything about taking the exhibits to Isipingo or booking them at the Isipingo police station. Did you have a conversation with him to tell him what Lieutenant Colonel Jacob had told you, that they had gone to Isipingo, they booked it in?
I did. It worries me. Why is he putting this here? But anyway, he has said many things that are not correct to the commission.
Okay.
Look.
Yes, it's your opportunity now to correct them.
First about the timeline. Second, about the human chain, that I was there on the human chain drinking coffee, that he gave me the keys. Those are all unfounded things. Basically, I was not there when they formed that human chain, because if you know Sipingo is the town has got one main road. So when you are in, for you to come out is a mission, because there is a traffic flow. That's what caused us to come very late at Port Shepstone.
This is you and General Senona?
Yes.
Okay. I do have an issue with that. When General Senona says to you that you must go to oversee the operation, you're on your way to Isipingo police station?
That's correct, Commissioners.
But at that stage, you've already told the members that it must go to Port Shepstone, the exhibits must go to Port Shepstone, and you've already activated the tracking team to assist, correct?
Yes, on the instruction of my boss.
Yes. So when you leave with General Senona to go to Isipingo, why don't you call the members then to find out where they are? Why do you go all the way to Isipingo on the assumption that they are still there? What gave you that impression that they would still be there if you had already told them where to go to, that they must go to Port Shepstone, and that a team had been activated to escort them?
Commissioners, I would not have an answer, because when we were about to enter Isipingo police, that is when we phoned. And they told us, no, we have left, we are on the way. And I didn't know whether he did communicate with them when he came to me to say, let's go. We were just driving, and then we then phoned and said, where are you guys? They said, no, we're already on our way to Port Shepstone.
But what were you going to do at Isipingo? Assuming you find them there, they would have been getting ready to leave in any event to go to Port Shepstone. So why would you have gone to Isipingo in the first place?
It was an instruction from my superior, and I was following that instruction.
So it's General Senona that says, let's go to Isipingo?
Yes.
Had you all told him?
He said, let's go, but then we went to Isipingo. And then when we were about to enter the police station, we made the call, and the members are saying, no, we already left Isipingo.
Okay, so you don't know why he wanted you to go to Isipingo, you just went with him?
Yes.
Okay. Did it make sense to you why he would want to go to Isipingo if the members have already been instructed to go to Port Shepstone?
I can't say, but also I did not question.
I understand, and we'll deal with the dynamic of the relationship, but it just seems to me that there was no need to go there in the first place. You had already told them to go to Port Shepstone. I can't think of a reason why the two of the most senior members of the DPCI in that province would go all the way to Isipingo police station, because what do you do when you get there if the members are still there? There's nothing to do. They are getting ready to go to Port Shepstone. So the reason why it's important is because the timeline, according to Prinsloo, you were there when the human chain happens, and that means you would have been there earlier, which means that if you left your office to go straight to Port Shepstone, then Prinsloo's timeline matches. But if you say we still detour to go to Isipingo, then he's out in his timeline. And I'm saying it just sounds implausible that the two of you would go to Isipingo for no particular reason.
But we went to Sipingo, commissioners. That is why we were delayed to get to Port Shepstone.
Now, I understand that that's what you say, but of course, Prinsloo has a different timeline, which puts you at Port Shepstone premises much earlier than what you say. And you say the reason why I couldn't have been there earlier was because we first went to Isipingo, and then we had to detour, we had to turn around and go to Port Shepstone.
Commissioners, I think I made a diary entry on the day. And if my memory serves me correctly, I even said there that we first went to Sipingo and then from Sipingo to Port Shepstone. And that diary entry has the calculations of my kilometers, which I submitted at the end of the month of June to claim my fuel that I use on the day. So,
Are you saying that the claim that you made for the fuel would support that the kilometers that you traveled would support your version that you first went to Isipingo and then detoured?
I'm sure.
Okay.
It can't be. I know I've got an entry in the pocketbook, but then when you submit, you also make a copy of that, of the pocket of the diary, and submit to the police, and they will keep it in the system.
Okay. Now, when you then eventually get to Port Shepstone, you say you weren't part of the human chain.
No.
What do you observe when you arrive at the scene? What are the members doing?
The exhibits, being 27 black bags of suspected cocaine, were already in the safe.
In the bags, in the black bags?
In the black bags.
Okay.
And Lieutenant Colonel Prinsloo and Pangase and the members were counting these bags, not counting the bricks, counting the bags.
They were counting the bags?
Yes.
Did you know whether they had counted the bricks themselves?
No. I think that counting must have been done at Isipingo.
Okay, so they would have taken the bricks out of the bags at Isipingo and then put them back in the bags to go to Port Shepstone.
Yes.
And when they get to Port Shepstone, they don't take it out of the bags, they just put the bags like that into the strong room.
When I got there, I did not witness that.
But they told you when you got there that it's 541 bricks.
Yes.
So they would have counted it already.
Yes.
Okay. And that you say would have happened at Isipingo.
That's correct.
Had you received any photographs from any team members at that stage of photographs taken at Isipingo police station of the bricks unpacked out of the bags?
Normally, when they submit a report, they will attach photos.
Now I'm talking about on that day, before you arrive at Port Shepstone. Had you received any photographs from them? From the members?
I cannot recall, but the report, there is a WhatsApp report that the members compile for the success. They will attach photos, and that WhatsApp report, I will send it to the general, and the general will send it to national office.
What do you mean WhatsApp report? So do they send it on WhatsApp? Do they compile it on WhatsApp?
There is the procedure is when there is successes or incidents, you compile a report. And the unit commander will send it to me. I will send it to the management group of the DPCI. And then the general will read it. If he's happy with it, he will then send it to the DPCI management group.
And, but that didn't happen on that day, that happened afterwards. The next day, later that day?
Commissioners, Amanda, or I won't lie, I can't remember.
I'm just trying to establish whether when you got to Port Shepstone, you had seen photographs of the exhibits unpacked, of the bricks unpacked out of the bags. Were there any photographs circulating at that stage?
Not on the official WhatsApp group. I don't recall that.
Okay. Because when it's then, according to you, it's in the bags, you say to Mpangase he must make sure that he puts them, or it's in the black bags. At the scene at Port Shepstone, you say to Mpangase he must make sure that the exhibits are put in exhibit bags and registered into the SAP 13. Do you recall you saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at that stage, you didn't know that they'd already unpacked the drugs. They had piled it up at the Isipingo police station. Fingerprints were on the bricks. None of that you were aware of?
No. I knew that they would have unpacked the bags for them to know that there were 541. Because you cannot, from the bag, say, because these are 27 bags, it's 541 kg.
And what reason did they give you as to why it wasn't in exhibit bags?
The reason was that Isipingo did not have sufficient or exhibit bags.
Only Isipingo, not
Yes.
any other place?
No, they only mentioned Isipingo. Because I also came to know when they were at Port Shepstone that the exhibit were not sealed in the exhibit bag.
Okay, so you only get to know when you're there that they didn't put it in the sealed bags?
It's correct, Commissioner.
Okay, and that is why you then give Bangase that instruction to
Yes,
do it?
Commissioner.
Okay, and if you had been aware, what steps would you have taken?
I would have asked them to go source the exhibit bag from the nearest police station.
Okay, even if that police station can't store the drugs, the exhibits, you would have at least expected them to go and get exhibit bags from those police stations?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, your proposal to General Senona that you must use the Port Shepstone DPCI officers, that occurs after you call FSL and Prinsloo to get the premises ready. Do you
Yes.
recall? At that stage, did you inform General Senona of the security lapses at the Port Shepstone premises, or do you know whether he was aware of security issues at those premises?
General Senona arrived in KZN in 2020 August, and he was fully aware. We even visited all the offices in the province with him.
Well, there's visiting the offices and then him actually being aware of the state of those offices. I'm assuming if he visits the office, unless somebody says to him, this Port Shepstone office doesn't have working CCTV cameras, the alarm doesn't work properly after load shedding, he wouldn't know about that unless he's being told. Even if he visits the premises and observes the premises, he's not going to know unless somebody informs him of that.
He knew because we were busy with the supply chain to get the proper security for the same office.
When you say we were busy, who are you referring
It
to?
was the supply chain management at provincial office and myself, and I was reporting to him.
And supply chain management also reports directly to him.
That time, we did not have a brigadier. So they were reporting directly
They were reporting directly
to General Senona.
Okay, so supply chain management is reporting directly to General Senona, and you're reporting directly to him about procuring enhanced security measures at Port Shepstone.
At Port Shepstone.
And when was this?
During that period, because this date back from 2018, even before I assumed the position in 2020, there were problems with the security at Port Shepstone.
Yes,
Well-
I understand that. I want to know specifically when were you reporting this to General Senona, that you in the process of procuring enhanced safety measures at Port Shepstone? When would this have been? Bearing in mind that he joins in
Remember
August
the first 3
2020.
months when he came and we were briefing him of everything that was taking place? It was during that period. Because it wasn't about the 3 operational space, it was all the environments within the TPCI, KZN.
And were these reports in writing, verbally? How were you reporting to him?
I cannot confirm now, Commissioners, unfortunately. But for him to say that he wasn't aware, I wouldn't understand why.
Who besides you would have been reporting to him about these, the efforts to get enhanced security at
No.
Port Shepstone?
Nobody.
So it would have only been you. I thought you said supply chain management was also involved
Oh,
in the
yeah,
process.
yes.
And who was it at supply chain management at that time?
It was Captain Van Niekerk.
So Captain Van Niekerk would have also reported to General Senona that there's security issues at Port Shepstone and we're in the process of procuring enhanced security there.
Yes.
Okay. And I know you say you can't recall whether it was in writing or verbally. What was his reaction to those reports from you? Were you just reporting to him as a matter of course, or did he have to take certain action as part of the procurement process?
The application was in process, and they were, if I remember, the file was going to Port Shepstone and back, queried by the supply chain, because at that point, Captain Van Niekerk was not appointed as a procurement officer, so we relied on the motherboard, the SAPS, which was Colonel Madu. So they will poke holes on the file, that this and that must be rectified and it will be sent back. And at some point, I remember Captain Van Niekerk even volunteered and said the clerk at Port Shepstone must come to an office so they can go to the supply chain and find out exactly what do they want.
Would General Senona have to sign off on the application? What was the purpose of involving him, of reporting to him?
The 585 form need to be signed